because he is at another meeting. But he's going to try and come here before the evening ends so he gets a chance to say hello to all of you. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the senior program, and then Megan will speak to you about vocational education. I'll come back on and show you girls how to go onto the online portal to make your selections of subjects. And then the main part of this evening is to give you the opportunity to talk to our heads of department and specialist teachers. So we have today with us our teaching and learning team, our amazing heads of department who are all experienced educators. They're so passionate about the subject areas that they lead. They are a wealth of information and they're happy to guide and support you through this really important process. We also have with us a number of our specialist teachers, and I want to thank all our heads of department and specialist teachers for making the time to be here tonight. So, we all acknowledge that this is really an important step for you. Obviously, you're choosing the subjects that you want to study in years 11 and 12, and that is an important choice, and we want to help you make an informed choice. So you are moving into 11 and 12, and you would have already experienced an increased complexity, increased workload when you move from 9 into year 10. And that is going to step up a little bit when you move into year 11, but we're really confident that in year 10, we have set the base very strongly for you to smoothly transition into year 11 and 12. Whether that means, as you know, engaging in the assessment genres of the senior ATAR system. You've started talking about cognitive verbs, so I think we're very confident that the transition is going to be smooth for you, irrespective of what subjects you choose to study. There will be an increased expectation that you take more responsibility for your own learning, so you have to be more proactive in asking for help. There will be an increased workload. Of course, the complexities of the subjects will increase. So tonight, it is to be able to provide you some information to make appropriate choices. Alright, so with the senior schooling in Queensland, years 10, 11 and 12 are considered to be the senior schooling, part of your schooling journey. And during the senior phase of learning, what we are aiming most students to do is to be able to achieve a QCE, which is your Queensland Certificate of Education, and also for most of our students, they will be aspiring towards an ATAR as well. So I'll talk very briefly about the QCE and ATAR, because this is not the forum when I'm going to go into that more deeply. Next year, at the beginning of the year in February, we'll have a year 11 information evening, and I strongly encourage you all to come to that, and that's when we'll really unpack the QCE, the ATAR, how you work towards achieving your QCE and ATAR in great detail. So the QCE and ATAR, very briefly, they're two different things. They're quite independent of each other, and the QCE basically certifies learning at a year 12 standard. So if a student achieves a QCE, means he or she has, they can tick off that they've got education at a year 12 standard. It's usually used by employers to, when they're assessing who they want to employ. That's the main purpose of the QCE. With the ATAR, however, it is a ranking system. So the highest ATAR that a student can get is 99.95, and then it goes down in increments of 0.05, right? The ATAR is more used to get entry into university courses post-schooling. So they're two different things, used for two different purposes. Most of our students, when they exit year 12, would have achieved both. Okay, so to be eligible for an ATAR, today I'm going to focus more on subjects because it is a subject selection evening. So to be eligible for an ATAR, students will study at least 5 general subjects. Most of our girls study 6, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Need to do 5 general subjects, or you could do 4 general subjects and 1 applied subject. There are 2 applied subjects that we offer here at the college, Essential Maths and Essential English. Alright, so you can do 4 general, 1 applied, or 4 general and a vocational course. So the vocational course needs to be a Cert 3 or higher, could be a diploma, and Ms. McLaughlin will talk a little bit more about that. So what's the difference between a general and an applied subject? We'll quickly go over that. General subjects are studied by students who want to either go into university to study, or they want to follow a vocational pathway, or they just want to get a job after school. So it keeps all of your pathways open. It does include extension subjects like music extension. Results in the general subjects will contribute to a QCE. All general subjects have 4 units of work, and when you complete a unit of work at a satisfactory level, then you get a tick and a point, and the magic number for a QCE is 20 points. So if you do in 5 subjects, if you pass all 4 units, that gives you 20 points, that's a tick, you get your QCE. Okay? So all results in your general subjects will contribute to a QCE. They may contribute to an ATAR. So the interesting word there is may, and that is because if you study 6 subjects, which most of our students do, only 5 of those will contribute to your ATAR. Your best 5 subjects contribute to your ATAR. So in a subject, your mark may or may not contribute towards your ATAR, depending on how it ranks. So what are the applied subjects? They are mainly, studied by students who are looking to do vocational education or work straight after school. Okay, so the fairly narrow pathway, and results in these subjects will also contribute towards your QCE points. So again, you have 4 units in every applied subject, and you get a tick for each unit successfully completed at a C standard. If you are doing 4 general subjects and 1 applied, you can also get your applied subject to contribute towards your ATAR. Alright, at Clayfield, all of our girls will study 6 subjects. The reason for that is we do not want you to put all your eggs into one basket. You can never really decide pre-hand which of your subjects are going to contribute towards your ATAR. Alright, because there's lots of different things that will decide that. Number 1, it will depend on how well you do in the subject. It will depend on how the subject scales, and that scaling might change from one year to the other. So we strongly encourage all of our students to do 6 subjects, 1 English, 1 Maths, and 4 electives. With regards to the English, the options that you have, girls, is to study General English. English is an additional language. There are certain criteria that you need to satisfy to be able to study EALD. If you think you're eligible for that criteria and you would like some extra information, please see Ms. Eagle, our Head of English and Humanities, and she'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. You could choose to study literature or essential English, which is an applied subject. So those are the choices that you have from an English perspective. If we move on to maths, you could choose to study mathematical methods or general maths, essential maths. Those are your 3 options. Once again, flagging that essential maths is an applied subject. Then we have 4 electives that you need to choose from a choice of 19. So girls, we really do give you a really broad variety of electives. You have to choose 4 from 19. So you have a lot of choice. Sometimes too much choice might be a problem too, but we do offer you that choice. And I just want to flag, whilst we always try to meet the needs of our student body, we do reserve the right to withdraw a subject if it's not viable to run it because of the numbers. Alright, a couple of other things. Music extension at year 11 is not a QCAA recognized subject. What does that mean? We offer it as a preparatory subject to study year 12 music extension, and a number of our girls like to do that because they know they're going to do music extension in year 12. However, you will not get the 2 QCE points because it is not recognized at a year 11 level by the QCAA. Okay? Most of our elite sporting students will study 5 subjects because that is just to acknowledge that a significant amount of their time goes in training. If you are part of the elite sporting program, come along and have a chat. You can study 5 subjects. However, you need to really remember that every single one of them is going to contribute to your ATAR, so you have to keep your grades up in every single one of them. Alright, but quickly look at assessment. All of the assessment that you will do in next year, so the first thing that we need to acknowledge is that we will complete units 1 and 2 of all of the general subjects by the end of term 3. So it's a fairly compressed course. It is fast-paced in all of your subjects. By the end of term 3 next year, you will have finished units 1 and 2 and sat your exam. Alright? And all of that assessment is internal and formative. So when I say formative, it is not going to contribute towards your ATAR. But that is the time when you actually, the assessment will very closely mirror what you'll be doing in units 3 and 4. So it's a good practice run for you to, have a go at the assessment. And that is the year where you can learn, make mistakes, so that when it comes to unit 3 and 4, you know exactly what you need to do. Once you come to unit 3 and 4, there will be 3 pieces of internal assessment and 1 external exam. Every single general subject will have an external exam. Okay? In most subjects, that external exam will form 25% of a student's entire mark for the year. The only exceptions are the maths and the sciences. All maths and sciences, the external exam contributes to 50% of your entire year's worth of marks. If you choose Essential English or Essential Maths, there will be 1 piece of external assessment written by the QCAA but marked by our teachers. Okay, so whereas in general subjects, it's written and marked externally. All right, I will now invite Ms. McLaughlin to talk about vocational education.
Good evening. So, vocational education, I'm a very big advocate of vocational education. I think it can complement studies beautifully and provide students with the opportunity to acquire really practical skills that they can take forward with them into their post-schooling options as well. Even if they do choose to study at university, studying a vocational education qualification at school can certainly help them acquire a more pricey job as you enter university. I heard of one student who specifically went and did a Certificate 3 in beauty because they wanted to do bridal makeup while they were at university and then make a lot more money than working at McDonald's, which I thought was great. So vet pathways are great for those people who want to further their skills and acquire some really new skills in their skill set. It is equivalent to a subject, so it will sit, you might have seen on that slide, it's down the bottom there as one of the subject selections. When you make your subject selections, if you do intend to do a vocational course, whether it be the diploma or a TAFE at school option, you will need to indicate that in your subject selection form as a vocational course, because it will sit on one of the lines that you get to choose from. Sorry, skip ahead. So why would you choose it? Like I said, it's great for adding to your skill set, but it will also lead to further study or employment down the track once you leave school. And the really nice thing is it attracts really healthy QCE points as well. The diploma attracts 8 QCE points, which when Ms. Mahan was saying you have to get 20, 8 for one particular subject is a really healthy addition. A Certificate 3 can add around 6 points to your QCE as well. It also provides a pathway to some universities. So with a vocational qualification, some of the local universities do look at that and accept those qualifications as standalone entries. QUT accepts a Certificate 4 or diploma for their entries, with the diploma having an equivalency of an ATAR 87, which is really high. Other local universities such as ACU, I found out today, have lowered it slightly. It's now become an equivalency of an 80 at ACU, an 82 at University of the Sunshine Coast, and Griffith University don't provide a selection rank. They actually just publish a list of courses that if you've done a vocational course at school will gain automatic entry to a wide range of their courses. I do have that information that I can pass on to you as well. So TAFE at school is a wonderful option. As you know, TAFE is very widely recognised all around Australia. They offer a lot of courses for students in years 10, 11 and 12. Enrolment for next semester, so for first semester of 2023, opens on Monday the 18th of July, which is our the Monday of our second week back, so we've got a little bit of time up our sleeve. But popular courses fill really quickly, which is why I've offered to do the enrolments for the students myself this year, so that I can jump online at 9 o'clock on that Monday and enrol the students into their course, hopefully to get them in straight away. TAFE at school runs as a 1 day per week option, so the students are out of school for a whole day attending TAFE at the particular campus where the course is run. That means that they are going to miss up to 6 academic classes in that day, and they are expected to catch up on those classes. So when the course sits in their timetable as a subject and they're out for a whole day, that will mean that they'll have a study line that will be in their timetable. That isn't there just to, twiddle your thumbs and watch TV. We want you to actually concentrate at that time to complete the other things that you've missed in the time that you were away. So you would be conversing with your teachers and finding out what work was completed while you were at TAFE at school, and in those study lessons you have to be self-directed, you have to be focused, and you have to manage your learning effectively. You are going to an adult learning environment and you are completing an adult learning qualification. So you have to be adult enough to be able to manage the remainder of your studies that are happening at school as well. So next year we hold the Diploma of Business here at school. It's run by a company called Axial Training. They are a registered training organisation that come into the school and deliver up to around 3 hours of training face-to-face to the students, with the remainder of the time being study lessons where they will work on the Axial Training platform and complete the online components of the course. It's a 7-term course, so students will start at the beginning of Year 11, do the 4 terms of Year 11 plus 3 terms of Year 12, and as long as they stay on track and up to date, they should finish at the end of Term 3 of Year 12, ready to go into external exams, knowing that that diploma is completed. It is an additional cost as they are a registered training organisation coming into our school. They haven't set their fees for next year yet, but indicative price for this year was around about $2,500. The last one, which probably is maybe a little bit late running into Year 11, but there is the option to go into a school-based traineeship. This would be more for those students who this is their pathway of choice once they leave school. A school-based traineeship or apprenticeship can be in a variety of areas. You can do it in childcare, hairdressing. We've got a Year 12 who's doing it in dental assisting at the moment. There's a really wide range, but the pathway that they are on is their intended pathway for once they leave school. So a school-based traineeship is like having a part-time job inside school hours. So it must impact a student's timetable significantly, meaning it's about 1 day a week out as well, and you still have your other subjects that work around that. The goal of a school-based traineeship is still to acquire your QCE at the end, so you obviously do need to have the quota of subjects sitting around that. You've got to be, again, really good with time management and organisation to stay on top of everything. But if you do intend to go straight into work or further study vocationally after you finish school, school-based traineeship or apprenticeship is a really good idea. If you would like more information about that, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. But it's a very niche market and not many of our students would probably be looking at that. Sometimes when they get a part-time job, I know people like McDonald's and Grilled and other of the hospitality industry, they're looking at putting students into a school-based traineeship. There are certain benefits for them to do that. So just if your child is in those part-time jobs and they do get that offer, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it, because you do need to go in very eyes wide open with that. There's my details, which you receive enough emails from me. I'm sure you've got an email of mine sitting in your inbox somewhere. But I do have brochures down the back tonight from all of the local universities, as well as brochures on the diploma and TAFE as well. Thanks so much. Oh, I turned it off. How did I do that? Sorry.
All right. She scared me there for a minute.
Sorry. Is that the right one?
Yeah, that's it. All right, so just going to quickly, guys, talk about some of the things that you should be thinking about, reflecting on while you're making your choices. You need to consider your future pathways. when you're doing that, you should look at the 8-hour requirements that you need to get into the courses that you're looking at university. And I'm really happy that we've spoken a fair bit about this when we had our one-on-one meetings with each family. But you should also look at the subject prerequisites. So what are the things that you should be studying to be able to get into the courses that you are looking to do when you leave school? Look at your talents, look at where your interests lie, look at your passions. Obviously, if you're studying subjects that you're passionate about, that excite you, you're going to do better, all right? Please don't choose subjects because your friends are choosing them. That is the worst possible reason that you could use to choose a subject. Girls, you are all individuals, you all have your own individual strengths, you have your own aptitudes, there's things that you are good at, there's other things that challenge you. So think about all of that and make a choice that is best for you. All of the senior subjects offer challenges, okay? So don't think that you might want to choose a subject just because it sounds or seems easier than the other. Like I said yesterday and I repeat today, what might be easy for me might be really hard for someone else and the other way around. Like music is natural to Miss Lockyer, but for me it's really, really challenging. But chemistry is very good for me. I'm not sure what Miss Lockyer thinks about that. So we all have our strengths, and choose what you don't just choose a subject just because things are going to be easier than the others, okay? Don't choose a subject just because you like the teacher who's teaching it this year. Teachers' classes will change from 1 year. I think some of them are laughing, so maybe they've had a bit to think about that. Teachers' classes will change from 1 year to the next. So, please don't make your choices based on that. I'm also going to add, please don't choose a subject just because mom and dad were good at it. Once again, you have your own individuals in your own right. Then you might have lots of things that are common with mom and dad, but then there's lots of things that are individual for you, okay? All right. If you're not sure what you want to study, a good thing will be to keep a lot of your options open. What do I mean by keep your options open? I mean, when you choose your English, choose your maths, make sure you're choosing the English and maths that will keep a number of university pathways open for you. You might consider to keep a science in the bag because, again, science could be a prerequisite for a number of university courses, all right? Look honestly at your maths results this year. Now, if today when you came in, you would have got a little folder with your name on it. Please make sure you've got the right folder. There's a reason that you must only have the folder that it belongs to you. In that is a subject selection booklet. So when you talk about your maths results, if you go in and look at mathematical methods, there will be a little bit of advice saying, ideally, if you want to do maths methods in year 11, you should be achieving at approximately a B standard this year in year 10. Okay? So look at your maths results this year and make an informed choice. Because you'll have lots of opportunity to look at that booklet later. So maybe you want to listen to me now, please. Wrong move. I shouldn't have drawn your attention to that booklet now. Maybe that can be your holiday reading. Okay, very good. All right. Then, a couple of other things. If you're thinking of studying either specialist maths or physics, then you must be studying mathematical methods. If you're thinking of studying chemistry, you're recommended to choose maths methods, but it's not compulsory. Most of the girls who study chemistry do maths methods, but we do have a handful of girls who are doing general maths and are able to cope quite well with the chemistry. Finally, if you want to do music extension, you must do music. Okay, so there are a few subjects that go hand in hand with each other. So, once you've had a bit of a chat, you've reflected, talked to mom and dad, we've had conversations, now's the time for you to make your choices. What do you need to do? Step 1, you need to read through that subject selection handbook, not now, during the holidays. Alright? So, have a good read of it. There's a lot of information there that's really relevant, so make sure you read through that. Ask questions of your teachers. They're the ones who have all of the information. They're really, they're here to guide you, they're here to support you. Talk to our heads of department. Ask questions, please. Step 2, choose an English. Choose a maths. Then, choose 6 elective subjects. Now, I just said you need to do 4, and that hasn't changed, but you need to choose 6. 4 preferences and 2 reserves. Okay, so that's really important. But even more important than that is the order in which you put these electives. That's really important. I will show you soon how to go onto the online platform and lodge your choices. But when you do that, when you're choosing your electives, if you think, I really want to study legal studies, that should be your choice number 1. If the next one you really, really want to study is physics, that should be your choice number 2. Okay, so that's very important. Step 3, you need to go onto this online platform which is called Web Preferences, and there is another A4 paper in this in your folder, which looks like this. Sorry, looks like that. This is your Web Preferences guide, and the link that is on screen is on this guide as well. If you go in through that link, and I'll show you how it looks in a minute, that's where you go in and lodge your choices. And I want to flag that date, 15th of July. The portal will close by 8 p.m. on 15th of July, which is the Friday of the first week back. So you've got about 5 weeks, including this week, to make your choices. Okay? And finally, parents, you have to sign off on your daughter's choices. The form will not get submitted to me until you've reviewed their choices and signed off. So that step is really important. All right. What does the portal look like? When you click on that link, it will take you to this page. It will ask you for a student access code and password. This is what you have on this sheet of paper. It is a unique code and password. So if you've taken a wrong folder, you'll be logging in as someone else, and we don't want that, all right? So make sure you've got the folder with your name on it. Enter your access code, and it should take you to this page where it says, welcome to subject selection, okay? Now, I have called myself AAA, so I made myself a dummy student, and I've entered myself as AAA. In the top left corner, it's a little blurry, it says AAA. When you go in, it should have your name on the left, all right? And all you need to do is hit Add New Preferences. It will take you to this page, which gives you some information. Basically, is a summary of what I've said tonight. It will say choose in English, choose in maths, choose for electives, choose to reserves. Make sure you're ordering them in the order that you really want to study these subjects. Moving on, there will be drop-down menus, girls. You just need to pick an English, pick your maths, and put in your electives. Okay? Now, and this has happened before, that's why I'm saying it. If you think that, oh my goodness, Mrs. Warren, she's so mean, I'm not going to give her the reserves because that's what I'm going to end up studying. I'm just going to put 4 preferences, then she won't have any reserves to give me, but it won't accept it, girls. The program is really clever. It will say, sorry, it's incomplete, you can't submit your form. Okay? So you must put in 4 preferences and 2 reserves. All right, once you've done that, it will give you a summary. So, sorry, that's where I've put in some choices of mine. Now there's a couple of things I must say here. See how I've chosen general maths as my choice. If I then went down to the electives and tries to put in specialist maths, it will give me an error message saying, sorry, you can't do specialist because you've chosen general. Remember I said methods and specialists need to go together. It will do the same thing if I put music extension without putting music. It will say, really sorry, you can't do that. So it has all of that built in at the back end. The other thing is, if you were here last year for subject selection, and even if you were not, you would have the booklet, and you would have been told that if you don't study maths methods in year 10, you can't do maths method in year 11. So they say this year you've chosen to study general maths, and when you try to put maths methods in there, it will say, sorry, no, you didn't study that in year 10, you're not able to continue with the study of maths methods next year. It will do the same for physics and chemistry. Okay? All right. Once you've done that, it will ask you to sign. So girls, you need to sign online. I know you're going to do a much better job than what I did. That is my signature. All right, now obviously I'm not artistic, unlike Miss Burke, but that is the best I could do after several trials. All right, so I signed off and I saved my signature. The moment you save your signature, it will ask you to give either mum or dad's email address or your caregiver or guardian's email address. Once you put that in, parents, once your daughter completes that, puts OK, you will get this email. it will have your daughter's name, so that, because I did it, it says AAA. It will have 4 steps saying, open the receipt, review your choices, sign and submit. So parents, this is for you to do. You can open the receipt by just clicking on that link. When you click on the link, it will take you to this page where it says your daughter has chosen English, general maths, and all of the different preferences. Have a look at it. She's also signed. Once you see that, it will prompt you to sign. And that is my signature as a parent, which is even better than the previous one. But anyway, there it is. So I signed off. Then you save your signature and submit. Once you've done that, you've completed the process. It gives you a receipt, which you can either print and keep a copy, or you can save it as a PDF. So it'll allow you to keep a copy for yourselves or save it as a PDF, all right? Now there's one more thing I must mention. You have 5 opportunities to change your mind, girls. So what does that mean? You might have a think, you might have talk to mom and dad, you might, look through the booklet, and then next week you might decide, all right, this is my English, this is my maths, and these are my choices. Maybe a week after that you've changed your mind, you're thinking, oh, my preference number 6, I really don't want that, I want to swap it to something else. Or you might think the order in which I've listed this, I'd like to change that a little bit. That's fine, you can go in and submit a second receipt. Okay, just go through the whole process again. You can do that 5 times. So you have the opportunity to change your mind 5 times. I'm hoping you won't change your mind 5 times. But if you do want to, you do have that. However, it will close on that 15th of July at 8 p.m. Any changes you want to make have to be made before that. What happens after that? Once we have got everybody's submission, we will draw the timetable lines. Now, unlike a number of other schools, we don't predetermine our timetable lines. So what does that mean? I'm not giving you a sheet of paper and saying, choose one from each of these lines. We've already decided which subjects are sitting. Asking you for your preferences, and we are building the timetable around that. So we try our best to personalize the timetable for every single student. However, you will appreciate that the sourcing of different programs depends on the resources that we have here at the college, and not all combinations of subjects can be guaranteed. We will try our best to give you your top 4 preferences, but there might be the odd occasion when we're not able to satisfy everyone. So that's what I've already said. And all final decisions will rest with the college and what we run. Sometime in late term 3, we will email you the electives that you have been given. Once that's done, there's a little bit of scope for change, and but that change is subject to a couple of things. You can only change to another subject which is on the same line of the timetable, and it will depend on how much space there is in the class. Alright, we are here to help you. That's our job, whether it's myself, whether it's our heads of department, specialist teachers, and if you have any questions about the actual subject selection process, please reach out to me. If you have any subject-specific questions, our wonderful staff are here today. Please have a chat with them. And that is it. I'm going to stop talking now and allow you to meet the teachers, which is the main focus of this evening. There's a third piece of paper in that folio which has a little map telling you where the different subjects have set up this evening. We're all up here in the LRC, and the map is now on screen as well. Our head of business, Miss Carter, is unable to be with us this evening due to personal reasons, but in her absence we have the lovely Miss Mills and Mr. Leong, who will answer any questions that you might have with legal studies, with business and economics. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much for coming. It was wonderful to meet you all, and I ask you to take the opportunity now to mingle and have a chat.